good morning, everybody. Welcome to North Dakota Today. I'm Kevin Stanfield, and I'm joined this morning
Kaiti
by
Firkins.
Yeah.
Nice to be here. Thanks for having me.
We are live at the 38th annual North Hostfest, and we're rolling with the changes here, and the weather, and the building, and the technical difficulties. But we're here. We're live, and we're happy to be here. And we're going to be talking with one of the founders, the president of North Hostfest right now. In fact, let's bring him on.
Bring him in.
Everybody, David Wrighton, come on in, Dave.
Hi.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us this morning.
Pleasure.
Every year this comes around, and I know you're busy, so thank you for your time. But it's got to be exciting too.
It's very exciting. There's a lot of pent up energy that you kind of use all the time, and it's just. But you go around and you see people that are happy and smiling and having a great time. Volunteers that are doing stuff. And so it just builds on itself. We're the second happiest place on earth right now.
Okay. For those watching this morning that aren't familiar with Hostfest, and I can't imagine who isn't if they're native to North Dakota, but your father was the one that sort of initiated the whole thing. Give us a little history.
Well, what happened about 38 years ago, they wanted to have a fall festival. So what they did was a bunch of Lutheran churches got together and sold Krumkaka and Lefse and everything like that at the Civic Auditorium. So they did that for a couple of years, and it was all right. It was $1 a ticket and things like that. And then all of a sudden, they needed some little better entertainment. So my father heard that a accordion player by the name of Myron Florin could come out to North Dakota.
That name sounds very familiar.
Lawrence Welk.
Yep.
So now this is 35 years ago. So what happened was he brought in Myron Florin, and the crowds just came out of the woods,
Wow.
And so all of a sudden, everybody, all of a sudden a bunch of lights went off or on, and said, well, if we bring in more entertainment, maybe people will come. So since then we've had Bob Hope and George Burns and Tom Jones and people like that all through the years. And this year, of course, we have people like the Band Perry and Martina McBride and people like that. So, it just builds on itself.
So from some very humble beginnings,
yes,
it's grown into all of this. Is there any time you sit back in your chair at your desk and go, I'm a little overwhelmed by it all?
No, not really.
No? Okay.
I mean, you just keep going. I mean, I've done this now. I've been in charge for the last 3 or 4 years.
Okay.
So, I mean, it is overwhelming, but you just got to step up to it. And we have great paid staff. We have 4,000 volunteers. They know what they're doing. They've done it for many, many years. So it makes it.
So it's a well-oiled machine.
Well-oiled machine. So,
all right.
Well, what does it mean to you to see it grow so big? You've been involved with it, I'm sure, your entire life.
Well, I've been away for many years, but for the last 25 years, I've been in Minot, and it's just so much fun to watch it grow. And each year, when they get done with the Hostfest, they all sit down and say, "What can we do to make it better, easier, things like that?" And that's what does it. It just started up slowly but surely. And that's the way they built it, and then they've reached the peak, and we've kind of reached the peak because we can't fit any more people in this place.
Well, you've got the Scandinavian food, you've got the Scandinavian crafts, you've got world-class entertainment. What else could you do? Holographs.
Holographs. No, we just, it's one of those things that we just got to keep growing. We, unless we get 9 sellouts, we haven't reached our peak.
Okay.
Gotcha.
But last night, Celtic Thunder came very, very close to a sellout, and they were very, very well received.
All right.
So that's what it is.
Well, we appreciate your time. We
Yes,
know you're
sir.
a busy man, so we're going to let you go this morning, and good luck with the rest of
Well,
Hostfest.
thank you.
All right,
And
nice to meet you, sir.
credits to you because you pronounced it correctly.
Hostfest.
There you go.
There you
Hostfest.
go.
That's not a Hostfest or Hoistfest. It's Hostfest.
Got it.
You got to know
Thank you
that.
so
You
much.
got to know that.
Thanks again, David.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with more North Dakota Today live at Hostfest.
First time here. I've only lived in Minot here for about 4 months now.
Okay.
So I'm experiencing everything for the first time, and it's really incredible to see all of it come together. And
All right, I got to ask, first of all, because it is Hostfest, I have a little Danish in me, just a
Okay.
little bit. What about you? Any
not that I know of, no.
German.
My dad's family is very German, lots of German background there. My mom's, I know there's a lot of Cherokee Indian and some English, but no Scandinavian that I know of.
Well, it's this kind of a festival that gives you more of an appreciation of your genealogy and your
Absolutely,
background,
yeah.
your family history, and your heritage. So, you've been here all week so
all week.
far.
I've been here all week.
Checking out
doing
everything.
Yes.
So what have you been checking out? What's got your interest most of all?
I had a lot of fun yesterday in the cultural village, biking village. They're doing a lot of really cool things. They're talking with, there's a Sami storyteller, and she's talking about the Sami people were kind of like the Native Americans here. They're kind of like an Arctic Indian sort of culture.
Okay.
She's telling stories, braiding techniques. I made a rock troll that's supposed to keep me safe. Like have you seen Frozen?
Yeah.
And they have the rock trolls that like roll around.
You wanna build a snowman?
Exactly.
No, I'm not gonna sing. Okay.
I made a rock troll, and there's
Okay.
a whole legend behind that. And they've got kids coming in, and there were, elementary school kids learning all of this really neat stuff.
Well, let's stop right there and talk about the whole
Yeah.
troll
Okay.
sort of thing.
I don't know a
Trolls,
lot.
What, I mean, I just learned too. This goes back to the fairy tale, the troll
Yes.
under the bridge and the goats going over the bridge or something like that.
Right. This is a rock troll. The legend is that she told me yesterday
Okay.
is there's trolls, and when they misbehave or do something bad, they turn into these boulders.
Okay.
And so that's like what you see in Frozen is like the boulder trolls.
I remember that.
Yes.
Okay.
And so then if you make a troll, and my troll was a troll princess, and she had a crown and lots of sparkles.
I didn't
of
know
course.
princesses could be trolls.
Yes. Well,
now you
yes.
know.
And she said that when you make your troll and you put it on your dresser or at work, it keeps you safe and watches over you while you are working or sleeping.
This is kind of like the elf on the shelf.
Kind of, yes.
Yeah, yeah.
But she said that the rock trolls also are a little bit mischievous. So if you start to see things go missing, then you should blame your rock troll because they have a little bit of a mischievous side.
That's fun. That's
Yeah.
a lot of fun.
So they're bringing in elementary school kid groups and just talking about these legends and different things. And then of course every elementary school kid boys loves Vikings, and
Sure.
they're doing Viking
and they
battles
actually have
and
the Viking battles.
yeah,
and
they're
everything.
doing
Yeah.
sword
Yeah.
fights, and they have the costumes and the big beards, and they're very like Viking-like. So that's probably been my favorite thing I've done so far. Well, and I also made lefse.
You got to fight a Viking?
I did not get to fight a Viking, but I did
Okay.
make my rock troll, and I watched them, and that was really cool.
Okay.
And yesterday, I don't know if y'all saw, but I got to make lefse.
I saw that.
Yes,
Yeah.
I made my own lefse, which is really cool. There's a lot of skill to it, really. It tears so easily, you have to be really careful with it, and there's a special rolling pin, and I've learned so much. And like we were saying, I don't have a lot of this heritage in me, but I'm learning about it and appreciating even something that I'm not connected
Yeah,
to.
it really doesn't matter if you're
Yeah.
Scandinavian or not. This is just a fun place to be.
Absolutely.
When we're talking about tens of thousands of people traveling here from all over the globe just to take part in Norsk Hostfest.
Yes,
Have you
yes.
checked out the sweaters?
I haven't.
Gorgeous sweaters you can buy here. So we're going to be right back. In fact, we're going to get this little lady here to try some lutefisk later on in the show. But we'll be right back with more of North Dakota Today, live from Hostfest. We're back on North Dakota Today, by the way, and one of the things you must experience if you come out to Hostfest is the cuisine here, and nothing says Scandinavian cuisine better than lutefisk, at least in my book. So here we are at the lutefisk booth here. We're talking to Larry Walter with Bethany Lutheran Church. How are we doing, Larry?
Now we're doing fine. Hopefully that everybody will come out and have a sample of our lutefisk so that we can enjoy the cuisine and the taste test that everybody goes through when they get out here to all these different booths.
So here's the premise. What we're going to do, I've tried lutefisk. This is my third year out here. So we have someone here. Katie, of course, is from Texas. And Katie, I don't think they have lutefisk in Texas, do they?
Not that I know of. I've never tried it before. It looks interesting. It'll be good.
All right. So Larry, tell everybody watching what basically lutefisk is.
Lutefisk is a dish that was originated in Scandinavia. The Norwegians take credit for it. It's got a bad reputation because of the so-called smell, which is, I don't notice it anymore, but there are people who say we don't have a very good smell. The premise was that they took it on voyages with them. It was preserved as in a lye and came out as basically a board, and they had to put it into like a soup or something to make it edible. And what we've done is to make it into our main dish right here.
So what kind of fish is this?
It's a codfish that is caught supposedly in Norway, brought over here after they do the preservative, and then was put into a factory, or not a factory, but a processor in Minneapolis, and they bring it to us.
So the whole thing is, it's just whitefish, codfish that is preserved with lye, right?
Not any longer with the lye. They used to do it with lye. There's other chemicals that they use now because lye was a little caustic for most people's taste.
How does that make it?
This is going to be great.
But the whole idea back in the day was to preserve it to take on voyages over the ocean.
They didn't have any way of getting any food when they were on the way, so they had to preserve and take it along with them.
Okay, so what else do we have here for Katie?
We've got the meatballs and gravy, which is one of our staples. We've got the lefse, which is another Norwegian kind of bread dish, and it's a flatbread. You can see that it's very tender. You got to handle it carefully. We got corn, and then a little bit of the cranberries in the back, just for giving you a little sweet tooth for something that goes with the meal.
If I had known I was going to get this much food, I wouldn't have eaten breakfast.
Okay. So why don't we ease her into this a little bit? Let's just start with the lefse first of all.
I can do lefse.
Let's do that.
Right there.
I made lefse yesterday, actually. I made it over in Stockholm Hall, yeah, and I actually really like it. It reminds me of tortilla.
Yeah, it is.
And you said the cranberry's good with it?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just going to dip it because why not? Okay.
All right. So it's like
good, yeah.
a thin tortilla with some jam on it.
Yeah. It's delicious.
Okay. Now what about the meatballs here?
The meatballs are a product that we get, and we warm them up here. We mix them with the gravy, and then they're put into an oven back in our kitchen, which heats them all the way through. They come pre-baked, so we don't have to bake them to make them get done.
I associate meatballs with Italians, but meatballs is
This
Scandinavian.
is the Norwegian meatballs.
And
We
what
have
makes
the
them different?
Swedish meatballs over there. We got Italian meatballs.
Oh, okay.
All depending on what kind of ingredients that you put in for the spices.
Okay.
Different spices make it different?
Yes.
All right. So
Okay.
let's go ahead and try this now. Oh, you're going to do the meatballs. Okay.
Yeah, I'll do the meatballs. I'll try them. Maybe if I can get it open.
Now put the whole thing in your mouth.
Take a bite. There you go.
Okay. That tastes
Okay.
pretty like a standard meatball.
Okay.
Nothing too bad.
All right. So enough of the preliminaries here.
Oh, no.
All right, we're going to get down to it right now. Okay, so let's try the lutefisk.
Okay.
Now, and walk us through it. What kind of a texture are we
Well,
looking at here?
they told me the secret was lots of butter, so it looks like we're good there.
Okay.
Okay, so, oh my goodness, it's it like looks like clear Jello almost is like kind of the feel of it. Okay, here we go.
Oh.
You're not supposed to have that kind of a.
Okay.
Come on.
Definitely not as bad as I thought it was going to be. It's very salty, but it does taste like clear Jello. Like it has like that really
Fishy Jello.
fishy Jello. Yeah, that's like the worst way to describe it, but that's what it is. I'm sorry. It's really not as bad as I thought, though. I thought I would not be able to do that.
So not bad.
Totally did. No, not bad at all.
All right,
it's very
so
salty.
how many people, Larry, do you get here to try this? I mean, we've got to have those people that are really into it.
We have people that drive all the way from eastern Montana to get over here for our lutefisk. We have people that come from Minnesota just for the lutefisk dinner here. So when you have, call it Jello, it's an insult as far as I'm concerned. But
So sorry.
that's okay. When what we have is this part of the fish is where you really have the fishy texture that you want. On the edges, we always have the Jello because we have to have that
I got the wrong piece of it.
in order to get the thing completely cooked
right.
through.
Gotcha.
Larry, thank you so much. We appreciate you playing along with us this morning. Hi, we're doing okay?
I'm good.
You're good.
I'm good. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for being tasty.
Welcome back to North Dakota Today. I'm Kaiti Firkins, and I'm here with author Lorraine Snelling. How are you today?
I'm great, thank you very much.
Good. So let's start off just talking about your books and what they're about.
Okay, I write about Norwegian immigrants coming in to the Midwest in 1880. Well, this is my most well-known series.
Okay.
And they came from Norway in 1880 and homesteaded in the Red River Valley, just north of Fargo. I mean, excuse me, Grand Forks.
Okay.
Yes, but because I was down in Fargo doing part of it too, the research for it. So it's a family that I made up, and I have to keep telling people, you are not in the family tree, dear. I'm sorry, but I made it up. It's okay. But they came, and I did 2 books, and I thought, you know, that was all I was going to get to do about it. And then they said, do you want to do more? And I'm no dummy. Of course I'm going to do more. And we're now, everybody knows the Bjorklunds, and Ingeborg Bjorklund is a favorite character.
Okay.
And people tell me that she's a member of their family now. It's incredible, just amazing that people have taken this series into their hearts like that. And then I've written a lot of others just because I don't want to get bored.
Yeah, I was going to say, you've written, I think, over 80 books now?
Yes.
How do you do all of that? How long does it usually take you to crank a book out?
I write 3 books a year.
Wow.
And I'm beginning to wonder if that's really a good idea anymore. But and I loved horses. I mean, I've always loved horses. I started out with that. I love stories with happy endings.
Okay.
And if they don't have a happy ending, at least they have hope. And that's my big thing, is I want to give people hope, because a lot of society no longer has that.
All right, so a lot of your characters in your book, like you said, are, you know, of Scandinavian descent.
Well, an editor told me one day, she said, you would be very wise to put one Scandinavian at least in every book, and I do.
All right, and so that's, you know, so you come to Hostfest where everyone here is kind of celebrating their Scandinavian heritage.
Right.
How are you seeing the response here?
I come here because I get to meet all my friends. I get to meet my Facebook family. I get to meet my email family.
Yeah.
And all the people that I've gotten to be friends with through the years. And I love it. It is so much fun. When I come here, it's just like one big hug. And and I have a PhD in hugging, you see, so I know about that.
Absolutely. So we were talking a little bit earlier, your favorite part of the Hostfest, what's that?
Meeting the people. It's always that. Of course, there's always the lefse and all that too.
All the good food.
It is. Oh, it's good food.
It's so much good food out here.
I know. We should go on a tour. We can do a food tour
We'll
here.
do that after this is done. So, why do you think you're so, you know, involved in this culture, and what inspires you about North Dakota and the Scandinavian culture?
Well, when I started writing, and I started writing in 1980, nobody in the current recent time had done anything with Scandinavian characters. And I thought, well, I am one, and I'm going to fix that. And so that was my goal starting out. I thought, I want people to know what our heritage is like and what our heritage is here. And so Scandinavian farmers have gained an incredible following because of their willing to be adaptable. And they would come up with new ideas and do all those things. So the whole Red River series is my cheering squad for Norwegian farmers.
Okay.
Or American farmers, really, but yeah.
Of Norwegian descent.
Preferably.
Oh, gotcha. So.
Or Scandinavian.
Scandinavian. So you are of Scandinavian descent.
I'm Norwegian.
And you said you made up your family, but
I made up my family, but it's based on.
Do you base it on anyone in your life?
Ingeborg is based on my mother and her older sister Inga. But I ask people everywhere, what are your family stories? And I want them to be writing down their family stories. And so they send me histories, they tell me stories, they write me letters.
All right.
And I write faction, really, because it's based on all of those stories.
All right, well, it's so wonderful to talk to you. More North Dakota Today will be after this.
How long did you sign on?
2 years.
2 years. Welcome back to North Dakota Today, and we are live at the 38th Annual Norse Hostfest in Minot, North Dakota. This has been a really good experience for you, I'm thinking.
It's been so much fun.
Yeah.
I've enjoyed Hostfest. I've enjoyed the show. We've done a lot of really cool things. The Lutefisk was Different? I'm trying to think of the right word.
Right, let's be diplomatic.
He didn't like my Jello description.
It was interesting.
Interesting, that's the right word
It
I'm
was
looking
an interesting combination of butter and
Jello.
and salt and pepper. Yeah.
Yeah. He didn't like my Jello one.
All right, so coming up on Monday's show, we're going to be talking about a very interesting topic: how to take responsibility for your own actions. We've got someone here, Chris Hammond from Inspired Life Wellness Clinic, will be here to talk about that. Plus, we're going to make over your home video and audio system with the folks at Blackhawk Audio and Video. Have a great morning, everybody. Come on down to Hostfest and check it out for yourself. See you later.